So you're thinking, what does narcissistic mean? What does it look like? What kind of personality do they have? American psychologists have this huge book titled DMS. What this book contains is the different diseases that people can have and what characteristics go along with it. And you can match the personality or characteristics within this book to figure out what kind of personality disease they might have or which kind of disease they might have, from bipolar to just an assortment of things. So, one thing that they say about narcissism is that they're entitled to themselves. They want success. They do everything. But what's really interesting is, do they really in real life are successful? Do they really do everything? No. They just have to maintain an image for everyone. So here's an example. This man went to go apply at a school for being a senior, and he said that there was a total of 700 people who applied and that he was accepted. Man, I was impressed, but at the same time, I was thinking 700 people, that's huge. So I contacted the school and I had asked them, how many applicants did you have this fall? And I was told about 70. Interesting. He went ahead and added an extra digit to exaggerate. I mean, 1 out of 70 is still impressionable. But for him, that wasn't enough. He needed more. He didn't feel good about 70. So it was a partial lie, but it was something to maintain his image. So it wasn't that he needed to lie. What he needed was everyone to have everyone's attention, to feed on his ego, not to belittle him, but to help feed his ego. So he would do anything to get that back, or, you know, he'd do anything at that cost to have people pay attention to him and fuel his ego. Another characteristic is empathy. They lack empathy. So it's hard to explain to them how feelings are. So they can focus on their feelings, but not really understand other people's. So it is very rare for someone who is narcissistic to ask for help. This is because they think that they themselves are perfect. So for them to ask for help is rare. And typically, 50 to 70% of narcissistic people are males. So how do you know if someone doesn't have empathy? When to everyone else it looks like they have empathy, they show it. But the secret is that they read and they know the proper behaviors of showing empathy. But do they really feel it? No. And if you study them, you can tell that they can't really feel empathy. And there's different possibilities as to why people are narcissistic. It could be generational, handed down to them. They could have been abused and feel neglected, and now that they want attention to survive and live, to boost their confidence in themselves. And sometimes, the parents just paid so much attention to them that now they expect everyone else in the world to pay attention to them. And there's so many different ways that someone can become narcissistic. And how do you protect yourself and your children from narcissistic people? You avoid them. You can't change who they are. And most people get stuck because they end up marrying one, or it's their parents or someone in their family. someone they work with, a coworker, and what do you do every day having to deal with them? It's best to ignore them. They can't stand to be ignored. They need an audience. Without the audience, it destroys them. But if you feed into their ego, you're giving them what they want. For children, it's important for you to explain what the characteristics of narcissism looks like. What's wrong with people? Just if someone insults them, just let them know, hey, no, be positive. Maybe they can understand the disease a little better. Or, you can send them to counseling if they feel like it's an everyday thing, or maybe it's just a once in a lifetime occurrence. Maybe, your child can benefit from going to counseling for it, but it's important to have support from the community, inform each other, stay educated. You know, that's